opportunity to speak.
Broad-based government,
how are we going to speak?
Yeah. There was peace in Kenya Kwanza. There was peace everywhere.
But we had started seeing the cracks.
But now Raila Odinga funded his supporters, funded his armed men and women, the Mawe Battalion, from Mathare, from Kibera, from Korogocho, different parts of Nairobi County, to go and intensify the magnitude of the Gen Z's demonstration so that their impact can be felt by the government, specifically the head of state.
Yes.
We were at Rigel in Kalen when Raila made a very funny remark. He was addressing the current Hustler Fund CS, Paranya.
Yes.
That this one is so hot. People, each and every kumbe is trying to jump out of the cooking pan.
Yeah.
You see, Raila literally celebrated how the Gen Zs were tormenting, how the demonstrations were frustrating the current administration. And Raila Odinga is in record saying he will never accept, he will never recognize President William Ruto's presidency.
Yes.
Raila Odinga is in record abusing, calling RIGATHI, GACHGUA, all sorts of names. How many Luos voted for President William Ruto? How many votes? He's in record while in Homa Bay telling those people that the votes you people gave me,
Yes.
ata si sungura, ni panya. He used the word oyeyo,
Yes.
referring to arat, the little vote.
Yes.
Now, why are Luos, majority Luos led by Raila Odinga and their MPs, celebrating RIGATHI GACHGUA's impeachment?
What?
Because one, this is a pure case of a man who thinks all ladies in the village want him. He gets rejected by a beautiful girl. Then later, he incite now the husband against his wife. Now when the wife is divorced, this guy now celebrates. Alikuwa nadhani yeye ni mre, wacha tuone ataenda hapi si alinikataa. Raila Odinga might celebrate RIGATHI GACHGUA's impeachment. It won't make him president.
Yeah.
And if Raila Odinga vies for presidency as the 6th, come 2027, even with William Ruto as his deputy, I want to tell you the truth. Kenyans won't know what they want for this nation. And the people know that our problems and challenges have their origins. Number one origin of our problem as a nation is Raila Odinga. Does it make Raila Odinga a powerful man? Does it make Raila Odinga president?
A question.
Now that RIGATHI GACHGUA has been eliminated,
I
will
don't
the
know.
nation be given that docket of deputy president?
Let us not get heated so much. I don't know why you always gravitating back. I don't know the role that Raila Odinga has in this, but let me
a very big role.
Let me backtrack.
Unless you choose to ignore the facts.
Let me backtrack.
We know what happened when Raila Odinga joined Jubilee administration.
A minute.
We know what happened to William Ruto when Raila after the March 18th handshake.
Let us be
William Ruto was frustrated, was humiliated.
Yes.
In fact,
so
some
you want to
ODM
say
MPs were in record saying in parliament in 2019, 2018, 2020, this man should be impeached. Atwoli was all over chest thumping that when you cannot give the president peace, we don't have any business working with you. The same Atwoli, the same Raila, the same ODM MPs, they have done the same thing to RIGATHI GACHGUA, the same thing they did to Deputy President William Ruto.
But let me ask
remember
you a question.
Not to forget.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question here.
Kenyans might be very poor, but they are not stupid.
Let me ask you a question. Before we even continue, I want to backtrack you on the issue that you said about Kasarani and the deputy president coming to the rescue of the people that whose houses were being demolished. It is on evidence and it is on tape that the Mavoko MP reached out to the deputy president because he was fighting for the Wanjiku that this government voted for. The deputy president refused to give audience to the Mavoko residents with the request of the Mavoko MP. You and I agree, and we and I remember that the deputy president remained mum on that particular issue. And these are the grounds that many members of parliament are looking at, and they're saying, yes, indeed, because Kasarani is a part, it holds the people of the Murima, but because for us we are not from that region, now you're not going to help us? We want a unified country where a deputy president sticks to his words and comes to the rescue of everybody. That aside, secondly, why is everybody obsessed with bringing in Raila Odinga, the ODM and all of that? Why can't we hold the deputy president accountable for the miscalculated moves that he did and say, Deputy President, you did wrong here? Why is it so hard?
President William Ruto miscalculated move?
That wasn't a miscalculated.
Was defending William Ruto a miscalculated
That isn't
move?
A miscalculated.
Was telling
Listen,
President William Ruto
let
that
us
demolitions
not
are affecting our
let
people.
let us
Do not evict people from
let
the
us
Marikiti market. A miscalculated move.
It wasn't.
Reminding the president that you have an agenda manifesto.
Yes.
You promised the people of Kenya, and we have to stick by that. Is it a miscalculated move?
Let me ask you a question.
What
let
is it?
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Paul Walker, let me ask you a question. Do you want to tell me that all these things started going wrong the moment that the broad-based government was formed?
This thing started going wrong. Immediately, President William Ruto met with Raila Odinga at KICC. They struck a power sharing deal whereby Raila Odinga was promised that some of his people will be considered into the administration. But of course, nothing comes easy in the political field. So Raila Odinga has some mandate, or rather a debt, that he must deliver or give to President William Ruto come 2027. And he promised President William Ruto, even if you lose the mountain and you secure the Luo nation plus the Mulembe unity, you add with the Kalenjin votes, it will secure you your second term in office. But I am here to remind you, Raila Odinga survives on political conmanship.
Yes.
Raila Odinga doesn't fight for Luos. If Raila Odinga was a legit man who fights corruption the way ODM MPs tried to do in parliament and in subordination, he would have fired so many ODM governors.
Yes.
ODM members of parliament who are involved in corruption scandals would be now in committee, maximum prison, pleading with Kenyans and God for mercy. But again, because Raila Odinga is a beneficiary of corruption, and in Luo Nyanza, devolution is measured in his stomach and in his pocket, Raila Odinga, a man who believes party ticket should be given to those who can quench his thirst for money, those who can sing Baba Hallelujah, Hosanna is the highest, cannot contest against those who have been chosen or rather elected by the people. Raila Odinga, whose party ODM, D is a mockery to democracy. The D in ODM is a mockery to democracy. Which democracy did Raila Odinga fight for while there is no democracy in ODM as a party? I'm telling you the truth. We, the people, stood with the President William Ruto when the Jubilee administration had swallowed his URP party. He brought UDA, and in 6 months' time, by the way, for your information, I'm number 1,001.
You're indeed sounding like him.
I'm number 1,000. I'm number 1,001 in the UDA database registered members. I'm not William Ruto's supporters. I'm not William Ruto's follower. I am not William Ruto's cheerer. I am William Ruto's disciple. And for your information, I was disciple number 2 after Max Olum. Now, today it saddens us. Today it saddens us that our political Jesus, a man we stood with, a man we prayed with, my friend William Ruto suffered. The man went through a lot of suffering to be the president of Kenya. Some of those things we cannot say, we cannot even say in a session like this. We saw William Ruto being stoned like a rabid dog twice in Jacaranda. Rigathi Gachagua is in record, standing up and holding the microphone, telling Raila Odinga, you will not be using people's children to shed blood, cause chaos and violence for your political ambitions. A time is coming after these elections whereby these people you are using to stone us will be used to build this nation. Was that a crime?
It wasn't.
Was that a miscalculated move?
But right now, as we're speaking right now,
why would you want to put it as if Raila Odinga is the messiah of Kenyan political atmosphere?
Paul, do not put words into my mouth. We are persecuting.
I respect your political decision and opinion.
I am not. I do not have.
I understand.
I don't have any. Listen, Paul. We are having a conversation, and we are having an educated conversation for that. I do not want to sensationalize anything. I am asking you personal questions, and I am not taking any political sides. That I want to be very clear. And do not box me in a corner to say as if I am propagating a perspective of a particular political party or of a particular political person. I am asking you questions as to the matters are pertaining and as they are unfolding in the country. True or false?
This is the same Raila Odinga who went and danced in Jacob Juma's funeral, telling us how the Uhuru's administration was bad. He went for handshake. Jacob Juma never got justice until today. This is Raila Odinga who lamented Chris Musando's death. He went to Ugenya, jumped on Chris Musando's grave. Until today, the handshake that happened between him and Uhuru Kenyatta never brought justice to Chris Musando. This is Raila Odinga in whose name in the year 2007, so many Luos lost their lives. In the year 2013, so many Luos lost their lives. The same happened in 2017. And even after President William Ruto's victory in the anti-government maandamanos, around 75 people, majority of them Luos, lost their lives protesting in the name of Raila Odinga. Today, Raila Odinga is in broad-based government. Is he speaking on behalf of the people who lost their lives as a result of this protest? No. Now let me tell you what angers me most as a Kenyan youth. Should those who died in the name of Raila Odinga resurrect today or come back to life today and find that Raila Odinga shook hands with Kibaki, shook hands with Uhuru, and shook hand with William Ruto, they will die again of heart attack. They will die again of shock. The man we died for is today enjoying the privileges and the benefits that comes with supporting the government that killed us. That is who Raila Odinga is in his true nature. There is a by-election coming in Ugunja constituency. Wait and see how Mawe Battalion, how Rungu Battalion, how Kimbiza Army will be chasing UDA supporters in Luo Nyanza. Raila Odinga has, the Raila Odinga Caliphate wants to hold Luo people hostage so that the Odingaism can remain to be like a throne, or rather a gate that you people must pass through to become somebody politically. As I wind up, let me remind you something. In Kikuyu, we have potential youths who can now replace Rigathi Gachagua, who can even challenge President Uhuru Kenyatta. Because by now, the unopposed Kikuyu kingpin is Uhuru Kenyatta. In Rift Valley, we have young and vibrant youth who can tell William Ruto, boss, enough is enough. You've had your time. Now relax and let us speak from where you left. The same is happening in Luya. In Luya, where Atuoli, Mudavadi, and Wetangula, as much as Wakishiba wana maneno, they are young men who can tell them, now you are not doing good, Omwami, step back, do the right thing. What about Luo Nation? Who can challenge Raila Odinga? You see, should Raila Odinga die today, who can now come and say, I now replace this man as the Luo leader, or rather the political bigwig for this community? Nobody. It doesn't make Raila Odinga a good man. It doesn't make Raila Odinga a clean man. It exposes how dirty, how senile, how corrupt, and how malicious Raila Odinga as an opposition leader is.